of Morning Brew, a little coffee chat for your day to get you started on just some business topics and things that affect us as entrepreneurs and microblading artists. So today I want to talk to you about something that I caught myself doing last night and that I do regularly, although I've been working on trying to stop it, and it's really helped me grow as an artist, and I think it could help you. But it's really time that we as artists stop comparing ourselves to other artists all the time, which is really hard to do because microblading is everywhere now, and our trainers are everywhere. The people who taught us our skills, they're supposed to be really talented because we chose them to teach us. So we're always looking at their work, comparing ourselves to all of the literally millions of posts that are on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube about microblading skills and talent. And there's a lot of really talented people out there, but there's a lot more to being successful at this than just with the actual art itself. So constantly comparing yourself to other artists and other business owners is really just stalling your growth. And I kind of want to talk about that. So honestly, as a creative person, our confidence and our psyche, like the status of our mind and how we feel every day, really impacts the work that we do. And if you feel inadequate because you're constantly staring at other people's work on Instagram and on social media, when you feel inadequate, you're most likely your work is going to suffer. So it could really harm your business just in that you don't want to go to work when it's kind of a bad feeling. You're constantly having this negative emotion attached to the work that you create, which is not a good feeling, and I'm sure not why you got in microblading in the first place. So I really want you to remember that becoming an amazing artist is a marathon, not a race. So the speed doesn't matter. You're going to get to the finish line at some point, and it's going to be great when you reach it. And along the way, you're supposed to grow, and those lessons that you're learning along the way are super critical to what happens when you do reach the finish line and how successful you can be. So I kind of want to talk to you about some of the things that you're missing when you look at other people's work and you just admire it and compare yourself. Artists historically don't show their bad work, so everybody, no matter how talented they are, everybody has work that they don't love, and we are typically not sharing that. So a lot of permanent makeup artists that you follow, that you look up to, that you're feeling that you're not good enough for, they also do work that they don't like. So it's important to remember that that's not just their everyday routine work. A lot of it sometimes is just their best work, which is what makes sense in how social media works in general, but we lose sight of that when we're in that comparison game. The other thing that some of the artists you're comparing yourselves to don't show you on social media or their websites are their super hard cases. So we've all had those cases that are really hard. The client is bleeding, there's significant asymmetry or scarring, and your work is limited to the canvas that you're working on and kind of the case. So when we have those incidents, and sometimes you get unlucky and you have a string of them in a row. I just had a recent week like that not too long ago where it seemed like every client, there were some issues with the underlying skin or the health or things that came up in aftercare. So when that happens, it can be really damaging to your self-confidence, but way worse if you're looking at someone else and thinking, God, every photo they posted this week is perfect. Remember, they're not showing you those difficult cases, or they may not be. So it's important that you're not comparing yourself to something that isn't real. Next, I want to talk about people who edit their work. So a lot of people share photos that are significantly edited. And I don't mean brightening a photo. If you've been following us for a while, you've taken maybe some of our online training classes, microblading photography is one of them, and there's a certain way you should set your photo up and angles you should take it on and lighting and ways that you can turn the brightness up so people can see your work better. Those are all wonderful things. But truly editing your work so it doesn't look the same. Changing something like the tones or covering something up or moving bad strokes, those are all terrible things that people do, and it's unfair because it is misleading to the customer, but also really damaging to your self-confidence. If you're looking at someone's work who literally, it looks like a drawing all the time, that is really hard on you. So it's important, again, that you're not comparing yourself to something that's perfect when it really wasn't perfect after all. Lastly, I kind of want to talk about something that I try to talk about a lot for the purposes of helping people grow their businesses and become better microblading artists from an entrepreneurial standpoint. It's hard. Being an artist is hard. There are lots of things that come up. People no-show for appointments. People come for appointments with prior permanent makeup and they didn't tell you, then you gotta cancel them and then you lose out on money. Some people aren't happy with their work. Some people are really happy, but it's an emotional appointment and it takes a toll on your emotions. Some days you work 10 hours and don't eat. Like, those are all things that happen to every artist. It happens to me, it happens to you, it's going to happen to you if it hasn't yet, but not too many people talk about it. So just remember that if you've had a rough week, it isn't because microblading isn't for you, or because you're not doing it right, or because everybody else has it figured out and you don't. It's happening to them too, they just aren't talking about it. With time and experience, those things get better. They don't necessarily go away, but you learn to handle them differently and you adjust. But in the meantime, it can feel impossible. So just remember that that's hard enough and you're gonna have to go through that. Don't make it harder on yourself by looking at other people and thinking and imagining that they don't have to do it too. So those are my tips on how to stop comparing yourself so that you can see your business reach its full potential with 100% confidence. I hope that was super helpful to you guys. If you find yourself needing more help like this, we have a lot of ways that you can get involved. You can, of course, comment here on our video. Make sure you subscribe so you can see more. Watch more of the videos. There's tons of topics. We also have a forum on our website where you can ask me questions, and our other artists will also chime in as well. It's a safe space for you to get involved. So that's going to be browenvyohio.com/user portal. You'll log in and then go to the message board and ask me anything you want. I will reply by writing you back, or sometimes I'll even reply by video because it's easier for me to talk to you than it is to type. So I hope that was helpful, and I will see you guys in our next morning.